My 29F fiancé, 32M, has not allowed me to have alone time in almost 8 years. We first started dating almost 8 years ago. I own my house and he rented an apartment. Right off the bat he started wanting to be together pretty regularly. Initially I thought it was just the honeymoon phase. I attempted to set boundaries and started by trying to let me have one set day a week to myself. On that day he would call me with plans and ideas but then say something like, "Oh, but it's your day. To yourself. I guess we can't do anything." So I changed it up to a floating day, that way if something was going on he wouldn't feel like it's off limits. Eventually he would call me crying that I didn't want to see him on those days and I would cave in. Let him come over because I would feel horrible. About 3 months in I invited him to stay over one night and he essentially never left. He was over all the time and my ability to have alone time disappeared. When I would ask him to give me space he would say he doesn't understand why I would need alone time, or vaguely accuse me of cheating because I wanted time away from him. He would tell me that on my car ride to work I am alone, so that counts as alone time. If I wanted to go out with friends without him he would get upset because he didn't understand why I would want space away from him. I would come home and he would give me the silent treatment for a while. I would take the small times when he was at work and I had a day off for my alone time. I've worked full time so it was a rare occasion but I needed them. But about 3 years ago he completely quit his job. He said he wanted to be a Twitch streamer and if he pursued that I don't know because he wouldn't speak to me about it. This meant he was home all the time. He schedules time with his friends while I'm working and will only do things while I'm at work. If I get home and he's playing video games with his friends he will quit. About 2 months ago he got a new job but made sure to find something he could work from home to do. Although now he's complaining and I think he will be quitting soon. I'm at my wit's end. I feel like I've completely lost myself and don't trust myself at all. I've felt like this isn't healthy but he's so adamant I'm wrong I don't know what to think anymore. Edit. Thank you to everyone so much for the advice. This is a little overwhelming. Several people have asked if this is what I want my life to be like and the answer is it's not. But I don't even know where to begin to get out. If I'm completely honest I am a little scared of him. He has never been physical with me but has always been very quick to anger with strangers and have confrontations with them. I have animals and take care of my elderly mom now because my dad recently passed that are factors in this story. If anyone has any suggestions on what my next steps are please let me know. Just reading this made me feel exhausted and claustrophobic. I can't imagine how you've lived it for as long as you have but you have got to get away. This relationship sounds exhausting and miserable. It's crazy for anyone to put up with all this and even crazier for someone to ask it of you. Everyone needs their own space and everyone needs a social life outside of their partner. Someone who doesn't give you that is ultimately having a negative impact on your life. He's isolating you and making you as dependent on him as he has made himself of you. He's taking away your independence and even stopping you from pursuing your own hobbies. There's little wonder you're sick of it. This guy sounds like a parasite. I think this relationship has run its course. Time to break up and evict him. Do you really want to spend the next 50 years like this? Saw your edit. You need to get a lawyer and find out how to legally evict him and separate your lives. Protect yourself financially and get a lawyer before you talk to him about this stuff. You also need to learn how to set boundaries. Start therapy and check out Love is Respect, a site about setting boundaries, relationships, personal safety, and where to get help. https www.loveisrespect.org/getrelationshiphelp247365/ Call off the engagement and change the locks. Flip. You're in a bind. First things first. You need to get a therapist. You need a calming, thoughtful influence through this. Tell him you're struggling mentally and you're working through some issues. If he tries to ask about your therapy, tell him that's not healthy. It's time for you to process your own feelings. To respect your boundaries and ask that he don't ask about privileged conversations. Stay firm about this. Leave the room if he persists. Simply leave every time he tries to bring it up. Lock the door. Have a bath. Start to create some distance for yourself to process. When you're ready, let him know that you're in a place where you need a break. Relationship on hold. He needs to move out. You need a reset. You'll give him a month to figure it out, but he needs to leave your house. Space. You need time to think. You feel like your boundaries were never implemented in a healthy way in the relationship. It's not a negotiation. Remember that. Your therapist will help you find the language. There may be local laws in your area that prevent this, so check that out. But try to be upfront and respectful first. Tell him you need this if you're going to continue the relationship to marriage. You want it to work, but you need space to feel your feelings. It's not negotiable. Remember that. You're not asking, you're informing. He has no choice but to move. He can keep on working on the relationship if he wants. You want to. And if he doesn't want to try this, then it's over. His choice. This is something you need, and you'll talk through the reasons why when you have the space to do so. Get him out. If he moves out peacefully, you guys have a chance. If he doesn't, you don't. Simple as that. If he moves out, change the locks the next day. I'm not being dramatic. He's very intrusive. You need to make sure he can't get in. Then work through contact with him. Keep it limited. He doesn't want to have to listen to you. If you want to stay with him, you have to force him to listen. And you do that by stating your boundary and following through. No matter what. He can cry. He can be sick. He can be desperate. He can lose his job. You keep that boundary. And if it feels like he won't, after a month, like he's looking for ways to breach it, you draw back and take away even the little time you'll give him until he learns that you're serious. Be ready to feel like you're being mean. You're not. Be ready to feel overwhelmed. That's intentional on his part. He knows it works on you. You're in a power struggle here. You either fight it out with this guy or walk away. Use your therapist to help figure out how you feel. Tell him you don't want to pursue this unless he goes to therapy separately first, and starts working on his extreme attachment style. If he makes an excuse, tell him you won't see him until he starts. This isn't normal. He has glommed onto you. Remember, if he loved you, he would find joy in giving you what you need, in helping you fulfill your needs. He would find joy in seeing you happy after having your own time. He doesn't care how you feel as long as he gets what he wants, and he will push beyond your comfort and happiness to get that. He will guilt trip to get what he desperately needs, all of your time and attention. If you have kids with this guy, he will lose interest and leave you raising them. Your attention won't be available anymore, and you'll be alone. Why settle for that? You don't have to. Be strict. Be strong. And stop eating shish tea for someone who won't listen to you. It is not healthy. I dated and then married an anxiously attached and insecure male like this. We've been divorced for almost 3 years now. I was young, inexperienced, with childhood trauma and attachment issues of my own. He was glued to me at all times. Sometimes I would appreciate it, as no one was ever that attached to me. It felt like true love. But he would complain about what I wore, where I went and with who, how long I stayed out, be upset that other men found me attractive, etc. He was also lazy, didn't take personal accountability, would lose his job often in his early to mid-20s. The crying to me when he wasn't getting exactly what he wanted. My God. And I just dealt with it. I'd get really mad and fight him, then feel extremely bad. I figured that most guys my age at the time were non-committal, flaky, etc. Well, it took 10 years together. 5 of those married. When I finally got pregnant with twins, for him to lose interest, the added responsibility of kids and the fact that me being a mom took the attention off of him led to seeking attention outside of the marriage. This was confirmed in the therapy we did when deciding to split. It was infuriating to realize that I'd built a life with someone who mostly drugged me down. That's not to say he is or was all bad. There were qualities over the years that helped me through tough times. His light-hearted spirit, how he's not the type to take things too personally, etc. But it was toxic, and I'd only convinced myself with his help that it wasn't, and there was far worse. The truth is, there is worse out there, but an insecure and emotionally unstable partner is not good. That's my cautionary tale. And surprisingly, I no longer get so triggered when discussing this. Lol. Either your partner wants to change and go to therapy or counseling, or you need to start considering leaving. Get individual therapy if you can, and start working on your own attachment issues as well. It was only through therapy and becoming more secure within myself that I've found a more stable partnership and have a much better relationship to self. Good luck with this op. He's wrong. Boyfriend and girlfriend and fiancé do not have to spend every second together. Not sure what his reasons are, but you're not wrong. You need space and time to yourself. And if he can't respect that, that's a very big red flag. And I would halt your engagement right there and then. Do not marry this man. Evict him. Hand him an eviction notice and take back your life. You are not even married to this man, yet you let him treat you this way? Quitting his job and declaring himself a Twitch streamer, and you just let him stay with you in your house rent-free? And you don't even know if he actually did pursue becoming a streamer? You don't have a fiancé. You have a leech. You set boundaries and then didn't enforce them. You're absolutely not wrong. You're allowed to have alone time, and you need to set and keep that boundary. Let him give you silent treatment. Let him not understand. You can't control that. But if he doesn't give you space that you need, then you need to rethink your long-term relationship with him. Odds are, either you accept that he's not going to give you space and live with it and him for every moment of the rest of your life, or you break up with him because he's shown he doesn't care about your needs. You seem to have a hard time sticking up for yourself. Something to consider and work on for your next relationship, and not this one. This relationship sounds like it ran its course, and you need to learn from everything you've said here so it doesn't happen again. This is not healthy, in that you sound unhappy. That, along with you two, also sound incompatible. Having read your other post about him pestering you for sex 2 weeks after your father died, and now this info, he is toxic. Clingy is not his only problem. He wants to possess you and never let you go. He cannot go 2 weeks without sex? Evict him and change the locks. Sell the apartment from under him and move away. Ghost surprise. You have 30 days to GTFO. Seriously. You know this guy can argue you down from anything. So what are your options? You deserve a life. Watch your birth control. I've felt like this isn't healthy, but he's so adamant I'm wrong, I don't know what to think anymore. This is gaslighting. You are a grown woman and don't need his permission to have alone time. He doesn't get to dictate that the only alone time you're allowed to want to have is while you're driving to work. What he's doing is emotional abuse and very controlling. You are not going to be able to get him to stop this. Ever. In fact, as you have described above, it's only getting worse and worse and worse. The only solution is to either kick him out or accept you will be stuck living this way for the rest of your life. Get friends and family over. Have backup. Do not do this alone. Then get him out. Also utilize the cops. They can be there on move-out day. I would honestly rather be single. He is suffocating you and not respecting your needs. He manipulated and weaseled his way past your boundaries until the situation suited him. This is wildly unhealthy and codependent. If you stay with him, if you continue this way, you will snap one day and just ghost him and run away. Oh my God, I would go insane. I desperately need alone time. Especially at the end of the day. He's got some attachment issues.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.